Zippy was a fluffy purple monster with 3 googly eyes that sparkled with curiosity and wonder. Zippy was always the first to spot a rainbow after the rain, or a butterfly fluttering by. With a heart as big as the moon and fur as soft as a cloud, Zippy was loved by everyone in Monster Town. And Zippy had a smile as wide as a banana, so wide in fact, that it could light up even the gloomiest day. Whenever Zippy grinned, everyone around couldn't help but smile too. Zippy loved to jump high into the air, sing silly songs at the top of their lungs, and eat jelly sandwiches with gooey grape jelly that sometimes dripped onto their fur. Every day was an adventure, filled with laughter, music, and sticky fingers. But there was one thing Zippy did not love, one thing that made Zippy's fur stand on end. It was the zipper on Zippy's brand new bright yellow jacket. The jacket was Zippy's favorite color, but the zipper was a different story. The zipper looked like tiny metal teeth, all lined up and ready to bite. It glinted in the sunlight, almost daring Zippy to try and zip it up. Sometimes, Zippy imagined the zipper growling softly, like a tiny metal monster. Every morning Zippy would put on the jacket, determined to conquer the zipper, but no matter how hard Zippy tried, the zipper just wouldn't budge. It was as if the zipper had a mind of its own and wanted to stay stuck forever. Zippy tried pulling it fast, hoping a quick tug would do the trick. Then Zippy tried pulling it slow, inch by inch, with the patience of a snail. Still, nothing happened. Zippy even talked to the zipper nicely, using the sweetest, most polite monster voice. "Please, Mr. Zipper, would you zip up for me today?" But the zipper stayed silent and stubborn. Zippy wiggled and jiggled, shaking their arms and legs in the silliest ways, hoping the zipper would loosen up. Sometimes Zippy even made up a special zipper dance just for good luck. Zippy even danced, spinning and twirling in front of the mirror, but the zipper stayed put, as stubborn as ever. No matter what Zippy tried, the zipper refused to move. All of Zippy's friends could zip their jackets with ease. There was Sally Squirrel, who zipped up in a flash, and even Tiny Timmy Turtle, who zipped up slowly but surely. Zippy watched them and wondered why it was so easy for everyone else. Zippy felt sad and frustrated. Why was this zipper so tricky? It seemed like no matter how hard Zippy tried, the zipper just wouldn't work. Zippy's smile faded, and their 3 googly eyes drooped with disappointment. For Zippy, it was more like a zonk than a zip. Each morning the struggle left Zippy feeling tired and a little bit defeated, as if the zipper had zapped all the fun out of getting dressed. But Zippy wasn't ready to give up. With a deep breath and a determined look, Zippy decided that this zipper quest was going to be tough. But maybe, just maybe, Zippy could find a way to make it zip at last. One sunny morning, Zippy the squirrel woke up with a big stretch and a bright idea. Sunlight streamed through the window, making everything feel possible. Zippy grinned and declared, "Today is the day. Today I will zip the zipper." Zippy had tried before, but zippers were tricky, slippery things. Sometimes they stuck, sometimes they slipped, and sometimes they just wouldn't budge at all. But today, Zippy felt extra determined. Zippy grabbed the zipper tab and gave it a big sideways tug. Grunk! The jacket bunched up in a silly squiggly way, and Zippy ended up looking like a lumpy yellow lemon. Zippy giggled at the funny reflection in the mirror. Next, Zippy tried a gentler approach, wiggling the tab back and forth, just like a little dance. The zipper moved a tiny bit. Success! Zippy's eyes sparkled with hope. Maybe slow and steady was the secret. But just as Zippy started to feel proud, the tab slipped from Zippy's tiny paws, and the zipper slid all the way back down. Oh no, back to the beginning. Zippy's tail drooped, but only for a moment. Zippy took a deep breath and decided to try a big, strong pull. With all the might Zippy could muster, the little squirrel tugged hard, whoosh, and tumbled backward into a pile of soft, colorful pillows. Zippy landed with a bounce and a laugh. The zipper was still at the bottom, shiny and stubborn, almost as if it was daring Zippy to try again. Zippy stared at it, determined not to give up. Zippy sighed, thinking about the little wiggle that worked and the big pull that didn't. The wiggle was a tiny success, the big pull a wobbly, silly failure. But every try was a step closer. This was harder than learning to sing the alphabet backwards, or even balancing on a rolling acorn. Zippy scratched his head, wondering what to do next. Maybe, Just maybe, it was time to ask for help. Suddenly Zippy's eyes lit up with a new idea. Zippy knew just who to ask, a friend who was always ready to lend a helping paw. Maybe together, they could conquer the stubborn Zipper at last. Zippy the raccoon stared at the bright yellow jacket in his tiny paws. The zipper looked extra tricky today, twisting and turning in a way that made Zippy's nose wrinkle with determination. He had tried to zip it up all morning, but the slider kept getting stuck, and the teeth just wouldn't line up. Zippy sighed, but he wasn't ready to give up yet. So Zippy decided to visit Wise Owl, who lived in the tallest, oldest oak tree at the edge of the forest. The tree's branches stretched wide, and everyone knew Wise Owl always had the best advice for tricky problems. Wise Owl adjusted his round glasses and peered closely at the stubborn Zipper. He tapped his beak thoughtfully and said, "Zipping is a skill, Zippy. It's not something you're born knowing. You learn it by doing it over and over again. That's called perseverance." Zippy blinked in confusion. "Perseverance? Is that a kind of bug that helps you zip things up?" he asked, tilting his head. Wise Owl let out a warm, feathery chuckle. "No, Zippy. Perseverance isn't a bug. It means you keep trying, even when something feels hard or impossible. It's about not giving up, even if you make mistakes along the way." "Let me ask you something, Zippy," Wise Owl continued. "Did you jump high the very first time you tried, or did you have to practice?" Zippy's eyes lit up as he remembered. He used to trip and tumble every time he tried to jump over a log. But, after many tries, and a few giggles, he finally leapt right over. Practice made him better. Wise Owl nodded. "Exactly. Zipping is just the same. You have to guide the slider straight, hold the bottom steady, and try again and again. Each time you practice, you get a little better, even if you don't notice it right away. Every time you try, your clever raccoon fingers learn a little more about how the zipper works. They remember what to do, even if your mind forgets for a moment. And don't be frustrated by the zonk, the silly mistakes or the times the zipper gets stuck. Every zonk is actually a step closer to a zip. Mistakes mean you're learning and getting stronger." Zippy's face brightened with a big, hopeful smile. Perseverance sounded like a superpower, one that could help with zippers, jumps, and anything else. Zippy thanked Wise Owl with a happy wave, ready to try again, knowing that every try was a step toward success. Feeling determined, Zippy marched away from the oak tree. Squeaky Squirrel scampered over, full of silly ideas. "You need a squirrel's secret trick. Sneak up on the zipper and yell the silliest word you can think of." Zippy tiptoed, took a deep breath and yelled "bow fow mow" while yanking the tab. The zipper moved. Halfway, Zippy danced with excitement, but the zipper got stuck in the middle. Squeaky popped out. "Try a sillier word, bumbershoot, snickerdoodle." Zippy giggled. The silly trick was fun, but not the whole answer. Time for a new plan. Zippy decided to combine Wise Owl's wisdom with Squeaky's fun. No more yelling or wobbly pulls, just practice. Zippy sat down, held the jacket steady, and tried to connect the zipper parts. Clink, missed, clank, missed again. It took many tries, but finally, click, the parts connected. Zippy pulled straight up. Z-zip! The zipper went all the way up. Zippy unzipped and zipped again. Each time it got easier. Zippy's fingers were learning, just like Wise Owl said. Zippy spent the afternoon zipping and unzipping. Z-zip! Z-zip! It was the best sound in the world. Zippy was practicing. Practice made Zippy better. Zippy was ready for anything. The next day, Zippy wore the zipped yellow jacket to Sunny Meadow. Barnaby Bear and Squeaky Squirrel cheered. "You did it! Let's have a race! First to zip up wins!" Squeaky shouted. All three friends unzipped their jackets. "Go!" Zippy fumbled, but remembered to stay calm and do what was practiced. Click, pull straight up. Zip! Zippy's zipper flew up, just as Barnaby's did. It was a tie. They laughed and cheered. Squeaky declared them both winners. Zippy didn't care about winning. Just being in the race was amazing. A few days ago, Zippy couldn't even move the zipper one tooth. Now Zippy was a zipper racing champion. From that day on, Zippy was the boss of the zipper. Zippy zipped up fast, zipped down slow, even with one eye open. The yellow jacket became Zippy's favorite thing to wear. Every zip was a happy reminder. Zippy could do hard things. Sometimes Zippy saw younger monsters struggling with their own zippers. Zippy would help, sharing the secret perseverance. It's okay if you don't get it on the first try. Keep practicing. Zippy became a zipper sensei, teaching others that perseverance works for everything. The biggest, baddest challenges aren't so big if you keep trying. And that, Zippy decided, was a lesson even better than a jelly sandwich. Well, almost.